Have you ever felt like you were in competition with other women? Well, you're going to want to listen to this episode because I talk about how that's normal, but we should connect and collaborate over compete. And today we're talking about how to connect and collaborate, not compete. That's the key to thriving as women in business. So, why are we stronger together? Well, there's this outdated belief, maybe you felt it, that women have to compete with each other in order to get ahead. That's why we have terms like crabs in a bucket, right? Like if the crabs are in a bucket and one of the crabs tries to get out, the others will pull it down. That's why we have tall poppy syndrome, where the ones that stand out will be the ones that are cut down or attacked. And in a little bit, I'm going to share another visual that I have around women competing for kind of the same spots. And really, they feel like society is also kind of taught us to believe that there's only so much success to go around, only so much money, only so many positions, only so many awards, accolades, and such. But really, that couldn't be further from the truth because when we connect, when we collaborate instead of competing, we all rise together. Like we all get to have the success. Maybe not the exact same time, but in some way or another, we will succeed. And really, research backs that up, which is amazing because women who support other women are more successful, more fulfilled, and create bigger impact in their industries, whatever that industry is. And so a time that I chose to collaborate over competition was someone else in my kind of community started to do collaborative books, just like I do collaborative books. And she was hosting women's events, and I was hosting women's events. And so what we decided to do actually is in a conversation with each other, when we let the walls fall down, we found very quickly we both had the same struggles, the same challenges, and we had the same set of morals, values, beliefs, and we both chose collaboration. And so we've been in each other's books multiple times. We have supported each other's events, each other's endeavors. And we talk maybe once or twice a year just to be like, where are you at and how are things going? And tell you, we both got to move ahead and move up because of that relationship. But you may be thinking, yeah, but Diane, like I see people online, what they're doing, and or someone else got ahead of me at work. They got the promotion and I didn't. Okay, there are certain circumstances where you'll get burned, or there is only one spot. But I want you to be thinking about competition mindset. We don't want it to hold us back. It does, and we don't want it to. So you may have heard about a scarcity mindset or a fixed mindset rather than a growth mindset. But a scarcity mindset is telling us that there's only room for a few women to make it to the top. But really, in reality, the more we help each other, the bigger we all win and the bigger space that we take up. It's not women competing against women. It should be women competing against just others for the same positions or the same awards or whatever it may be. According to a Harvard Business Review, research shows that women are often overlooked for promotions due to bias. But when women sponsor and advocate for each other, leadership opportunities increase, right? So the more other women are talking about other women, women talk about women, and especially in those right rooms, that's where the opportunities for these women will increase. And that's hopefully how we create this. There's supposedly right now the belief that we won't have gender parity, gender equality until 2158. And if we want more women to be in there, we have to work together to get each other in. And maybe you help someone else and they get ahead of you, but then they're going to reach out and bring you up. I want us to change how society is around it. Because the biggest barrier to women's success isn't other women, it's outdated systems and limiting beliefs. And sadly, we see in some countries that outdated systems are coming back. Things that we've already fought for are getting removed, taken away. And hopefully, these are just moments in time that they are just certain people and that we get to bring it back. But the other image I wanted to share is, a lot of times I work with women who are female leaders in corporate. And one of these times I was brought in to do my dynamic year program. And one of the participants said to me, Diane, I'm not going to be able to be honest and truthful and share my feelings or any vulnerabilities because other women will use it against me. And this was really sad because this is a male dominated industry, a great company who felt that they were going to put together this women's networking group for their staff that are female. And I thought that was amazing. And would think you'd kind of all get together and all support each other. But she told me how it really was. And so the image that gave me is kind of like we're playing musical chairs. And we're all, as the women, we're all going around these chairs. Or even there's men going around the chairs too. And let's say there's 10 chairs and 8 of them are blue and 2 of them are pink. When the music stops, all the women fight for the 2 pink chairs because they think that those are the only chairs they can sit in. And so rather than taking up space and kind of demanding almost the ability to step into all of these other chairs, we fight against each other rather than taking a blue chair. So, what are you going to do? Well, shift your mindset, right? Go away from scarcity mindset and ask yourself, instead of how can I be better than her? You could, and instead of how can I stand out from her? How can I make myself different? How about if you said, how can we win together? How can we win together? Or how can I support something that she's wanting? And then how could she support something that I'm wanting? So let's talk now about the power of connection. We need to find a network. We need to uplift our network. According to Business Wire, 80% of women leaders credit networking as a key driver of their success. And so really, if you're not part of these networking groups, women's groups, co-ed groups, and you're not building those relationships, you're leaving opportunities on the table. I've had so many doors opened for me, so many opportunities given to me through the people I have met. And really, when they're thinking of who to give a speaking engagement to or who to refer a client to, they can only do that if they know you, like you, trust you, right? So how do you connect with women who lift you up or who could lift you up and help you? Well, join these networks, mastermind groups, professional networks, women-focused business communities. Some will be free, some will be low cost, some will be a higher investment. And so even though I said cost, it is an investment, right? And if it's not giving you an ROI and you've properly committed, then it may be time, the season's over, move on to something else. So if you currently are in something that is not fruitful, move on, but only if you have actually committed to that group and you've shown up and you've done the relationship building and it's still not paying off. You can also go onto LinkedIn or other social media. You can connect, you can comment, you can support others. I always pay attention to the people who support me, and I'm like, whoa, look at that person. They're liking my stuff, they're commenting. You can also just attend events or workshops or retreats because you never know who you're going to meet. I've met people at soccer, at the comedy club, at church, at so many different places because I was just open to learning more about others. So think, is there someone that you've been seeing online or through some group? My challenge to you as an action step is just reach out to them and have a conversation. You never know where it's going to lead. I actually did this recently. I've been reaching out to some women in other countries to connect, to have them on my podcast, to see what synergy is there. And it felt a little awkward giving this like video message to be like, hi, you don't know me, but I want to connect with you and maybe have you on my podcast. It felt really awkward. I tell you, I was like getting nervous about doing it, but what's the worst they can do? Ghost you or say no? So, and I just had a beautiful conversation with an amazing lady, and you'll probably hear her on an upcoming episode. And so the last piece, so I already went through why competition mindset holds you back. So we're going to get rid of that scarcity mindset. We're going to start tapping into that power of connection. And the last thing is collaboration over competition all the time, right? So what do you mean? What do I mean about collaboration? Well, some of the biggest businesses, some of the biggest movements have been built through collaboration, right? So they have a network and they have a network, so two separate networks. And then by combining, they get to cross-pollinate and then cross-harvest with both of them expanding their network and their reach. Now, there's so many different ways you can collaborate. You can partner on events, on programs, business ventures, instead of just trying to do everything solo. If you don't feel like you want to go into something and kind of have a 50-50 contribution to an output, then maybe you could just refer. You could have people that you refer to, right? So if someone's not the right fit for you and you find that you keep getting a certain person coming to you, for example, I don't really do career counseling. I don't write resumes or cover letters for people. And so I have someone that I pass to for this need, right? So pass them to a woman who is right. And so if you're like, well, I don't know, well, go find them. Ask on LinkedIn, who is someone who's great at XYZ? Another thing you could do is co-create content. So you could do a pod swap, a podcast swap. So you can host on each other's podcasts. You could host on each other's webinars. You could have a summit and bring people on or be on someone else's. You could guest blog. You could be on their YouTube channel. You can do an IG live together. So many different options. Or maybe you start your own mastermind or brain trust or think tank where you just bring together a small group of women who are going to share advice and resources and opportunities. So here's your mindset shift around this. Just stop thinking about other women's success taking away from yours. Instead, think about where you can collaborate instead, right? So as I wrap up, I just want to say, like, let's break the cycle. It's so easy to fall into comparison mode. And I can be so guilty of that. And I compare myself and it sucks. It feels bad and you feel jealous or envious or you beat yourself up. But let's flip that. Let's flip that into support mode, collaborative mode, connection mode. And maybe you do start lifting other women up in order to be able to do investments in them to then be able to withdraw in the future when needed. Really, with us just celebrating International Women's Day, I want us to be thinking about how we can rise together, right? Imagine a world where women collaborated instead of competed. Imagine a world where we connected rather than competed. You know, where we could, if we could amplify other people's voices, and that's why I have guests on the Dynamic Women podcast. That's why I have my collaborative books. It's called a collaborative author, collaborative books, because I want to give a platform for other women's voices and words and expertise that I don't have, right? If we choose to do that, then that's the type of world we're going to create. Because when we build real connections, real collaborations, we all thrive, right? Our businesses grow, our confidence soars, our impact multiplies. So the final challenge I'm going to give you today is find one woman that you can connect with or support and send them a message. Make an introduction, start the conversation, send them a video message over social media like I did, and then invite them to a Zoom chat just to get to know each other. It might feel awkward, but hey, if that's the worst thing that you're doing right now, it could end up with nothing. It could end up with a no, or it could end up with a really cool connection or collaboration. So give it a go and then let me know how it goes. So send me an email, diane@dianerolston.com, or find me on one of your favorite social platforms and let me know if you did this challenge or any of the little forward actions that I said throughout this episode. And let me know how it goes. If you feel like you want to talk to me about being a collaborative author, about being a podcast guest, please just know that is for women only, because it is the Dynamic Women podcast and the Dynamic Women Leadership Secrets book. Just reach out to me, diane@dianerolston.com. Would be happy to have a chat with you about next steps. Until next time, stay dynamic, everyone. Bye.